Hey, welcome to today's webinar. So glad you've chosen to join us today. We're going to be talking about social proof selling and how to turn your projects into case studies that close new deals and new business. And I'm so glad you've taken time out to join us today. And we're going to unpack how you can turn all of those completed projects into actual case studies. And those become assets that are going to help you close more future business. This is actually going to be one of the most powerful and most overlooked tools that you have in your sales toolbox. And so appreciate you taking time out to join us today and hope you find this to be just one of the most valuable overlooked pieces of information that you have, but one of the things that you put into play to grow your business. If you've not joined us on one of our webinars before, just really quickly who I am and why you might want to listen to me. My name is Carl Willis. I am the CEO at Remodeling Marketing Team. I've been marketing online since 1997. I'm the author of Internet Marketing for Home Remodeling Companies, creator of the Marketing Classroom, an international keynote speaker on business growth and lead generation, widely accepted as a go-to expert in internet marketing for home remodeling businesses, and also have worked with companies across the US and internationally. Now, anytime you hear me talk about online marketing, you're going to hear me talk about the ecosystem. And when we talk about the ecosystem, I've got a graph of it up here in front of me. Kind of looks like a big pie. And so today, when we discuss the ecosystem, we're going to be looking at your repeat and referral business down here in the bottom left-hand corner, number 5. And this is your referrals. This is your social proof. This is the part of the ecosystem that we're talking about. And of course, in today's marketing world, it's not just a one silver bullet that's going to move your business forward because people are using multiple platforms, multiple modalities. They're going to engage you from multiple vantage points. And so this is just one of the vantage points that you're going to be using in your total marketing mix. And so you always want to be thinking in terms of the ecosystem. And so with that, let's get started today. Remember, social proof matters because people aren't just buying cabinets, they're not just buying tile. What they're doing is they are buying confidence in you. Remember, homeowners crave trust. They don't just want quotes. They're looking for proof over promises. And what that means is at the end of the day, they want credibility. And so what we find is that most of the time, a homeowner has made their decision before they ever make the first call to you as the contractor. So they have most of the time made their decision before they ever place the phone call, fill out the response form, or send you a message. So your proof, your social proof, is what actually convinces them to pick up the phone, to send the message, or to fill out the lead response form. So, this social proof is so critical today because people are doing their due diligence, they're doing their research long before they ever make any type of contact with you. So, let's define what social proof selling really is because remodeling buyers are craving that trust. They're not just looking for quotes. And so social proof is simply putting your reputation on display. And so there are some formats that you're going to do that with. There are case studies, there are testimonials and reviews, and then there are video walkthroughs. And by using these different modalities, you are going to build trust and authority. You are telling stories, you are using visuals, and then you are using real world results from actual clients. And by doing this, what you're doing is you're creating a narrative that is more persuasive than anything you could ever say about yourself. What you're doing is you're creating third party validation, and third party validation is much stronger than self promotion. Always remember that somebody else talking about you carries much more weight than anything you're going to say about yourself. Now, why case studies work so well in remodeling is because remodeling is emotional. And you have to remember people make buying decisions first with emotion, and then they support those decisions with logic. So, first and foremost, remodeling is an emotional decision. We are working on somebody's home, and somebody's home is a place that has a lot of emotion tied into it. And so, stories reduce the fear of being burned, of being taken advantage of. Photos excite the imagination, and what it does is it transfers trust from past clients to your future clients. Because remember, people have heard horror stories. So they fear being burned, they fear being taken advantage of, but they really do dream of transformation. They dream of that new kitchen. They dream of that bathroom that becomes their personal retreat. They dream of that redone oasis bedroom. They dream of that backyard sanctuary. They're dreaming of all of these things, but there's also that underlying fear. They don't want to be a cautionary tale. And so case studies help that homeowner to connect the dots by showing them someone who is just like them, who took that leap of faith and loved the result, that had a great experience and came away satisfied and thrilled with the outcome. And so, what we are doing is we are stirring the emotions, helping them dream, helping them transport themselves mentally to the place that they want to be. So let's break down the anatomy of a powerful case study. And just like a good book or a good movie or a good television show, it's going to have a story arc to it. And so we're going to begin with a challenge. So there's a problem. And so we want to talk about the client background and what was their challenge? What was the problem that needed to be overcome? And then we're going to talk about their vision. What was it that they wanted? So we're going to start with our client. What was their background? What was the problem that they needed to solve, the challenge? And what was the vision? What was the outcome they were looking for, the desired outcome, the preferential outcome? And then we're going to show the process. What was your process? How did you go about addressing that challenge and solving that problem? And then we're going to move on to the finished project, the before and after. We're going to use visuals to show before and after. How did we make that transformation? That's where we stir the imagination, where we stir up those emotions, we create those good, warm, fuzzy feelings. And then we're going to celebrate the result with a client testimonial, a quote or video, maybe a walkthrough, and we're going to have those measurable results. We always want to include visuals and quotes because that's what makes it stick. That's what makes it real in the mind of our prospect. We want to anchor those feelings psychologically into the heart and mind of our prospective customer. And so, again, we're creating a story arc, just like a good television show, a good book, or a good movie, a problem to be solved, a solution and how it was implemented, and then that good happy ending. How did it end? And then anchoring that in with the testimonial, the walkthrough, the before and after, the reveal, however you want to bring your prospective homeowner into that final wrap up of the story. Now, how do you gather your case study material? How do you put this all together? How do you build this story arc for your prospect? Well, remember this, your clients are happiest right after the completion of their project. That's when they're most excited about it. That's when they're on the highest emotional plane of the project. And that's when you want to capture their excitement. So capture your photos and your videos at project closeout. Don't wait an extended period of time. Do it right then and there. Now, that's why television shows love to do the reveal, because they build the anticipation, they build the excitement, they capture it all on video. Be sure to ask emotion driven questions when you build your case study. Ask those feeling type questions, and then document measurable results, return on investment, comfort, lifestyle changes. Those are all good results that you want to document. And then, of course, get client permission to use this information in your case study. You might ask questions like, how does this change your family's daily life? Those are golden questions. So, how has this completed project made a difference for your family? How has it changed the way you live? How has it changed the way you entertain? How has it changed your day to day life? Get those answers that people have to expound on, that bring out those feeling type, emotional type responses to your question. That's going to create case study gold that is going to communicate great emotional value to the prospects who watch those case studies later. Now, anytime you get a case study, always find ways to repurpose that case study. Don't just build proof once and then let it sit. Be sure to repurpose it absolutely everywhere, from your website to your sales deck. Make sure that your prospects are seeing that case study everywhere. So do a full write up on your website, on your social media, turn it into short reel videos, and then before and after videos. On your email list, send out a project spotlight. Print out a one-page project profile that you can hand out. And then in your sales meetings, create a leave behind booklet that you can share with prospects anytime you are in a sales proposal. These are ways that you can take that one piece of content and multiply its use over and over again. And then, of course, if you're doing a video walkthrough, you can create even a small long form video to put on your YouTube channel and use in other avenues as well. Now, let's talk about how to position case studies in your sales process. So instead of telling a prospect to trust you, show them proof at every stage of your sales process or your sales funnel. So in the pre-call, send examples of completed projects. On your discovery call, reference similar projects to the type of project that's being discussed. In your proposal, send one or two matching case studies to the type of project that's being proposed. And then in your follow-up, email with a testimonial video of a similar project to the one that you're sending out. What will happen is you're going to reduce the objections because you are going to reduce the amount of resistance to the sales process because you continue to bring social proof into the sales process and third-party validation. And that will lower the objections, that will lower the resistance. And what it'll do is it will make price less of the focus because you are going to increase the value of the offer that you are making. And so what we want to do is take price out of the equation, make it less of the focus, and raise the level of value and satisfaction and make that the greater focus of the conversation. And while we're talking about objections, we want to handle objections with proof. Remember this, every objection you hear has already been answered by a past project. You want to handle every objection with proof. So let's talk about a few objections. Fear of being burned. Your proof example is see a similar client success. If the objection is price concerns, the proof example is investment ROI. If the objection is timeline worries, then the proof example is delivery on schedule for someone else. Remember, every objection you hear has already been answered by a past project. So put that proof in front of the prospect before they even raise the concern. And what you'll do is you will clear that objection out of the way before you ever have to address it. Now, here are some systems that will help you gather proof for your social proof process. Because proof gathering shouldn't be random, it should be built into your system so that every project feeds your sales machine. So make your proof gathering part of your project closeout process. Automate your review requests. Make standard client interview scripts a part of that automation. And then assign team members to manage that social proof. So here's the flow of that process. The project gets completed. The automation sends out a review request. The review gets captured. That review becomes a case study. That case study becomes content, and that content gets repurposed. Now, here's a couple of case study examples that you can put into play. On a kitchen remodel, once the kitchen is remodeled, the family begins to cook together on a nightly basis. Energy efficient windows are installed, and the client saves X number of dollars per year in cost savings. A bathroom remodel. The client is now proud to host guests again and proud to show off their new bathroom. Here's what I want you to notice. These examples move beyond construction. They focus on the transformation in lifestyle pride, or actual cost savings. You see, that's what actually moves buyers. It's not the construction project itself, it's the emotional component, change in lifestyle, pride in ownership, pride in being able to entertain and host friends and family, or savings in their monthly budget. That's what motivates people to do business with you. Here's some action steps for you to implement starting now. Number one, remember, you don't need perfection to start. Choose 3 projects, write a simple one pager, and get momentum. Collect testimonials, photos, and stories. Write a one-page case study for each one of those, and then repurpose across the web, social media, and your sales materials. Your system will build itself from there. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to start. So choose 3 projects, write a simple one-page piece for each one of those with testimonials, photos, and stories, and then repurpose it across the web, your social media, and your sales materials, and you will have created a social proof selling system for yourself. Now, remember this, don't just sell, sell with social proof. Proof over promises wins trust. So turn your finished projects into sales assets. Your past wins are the most powerful sales tool that you will ever own. And if you need help developing a strategy for your ecosystem and to turn your past projects into leveraged sales tools, schedule a strategy session with our team here at Remodeling Marketing Team. You can do that at remodelingmarketingteam.com/get-started. We'd love to visit with you and build that system together. As always, thanks for tuning in to today's webinar, and we look forward to seeing you on our next webinar.